Are you looking for a hemorrhoid treatment at home? We're gonna get a little personal in today's video because I've been suffering from hemorrhoids for decades now. And I want to tell you guys about all the things that I've tried, all the things that have worked and not worked, and I ordered something online that I think is going to be helpful. I'm going to tell you about how I found out about this too. First of all, hi to all the new dads out there. This is Dad Reviews. This is where I give you my unedited, hopefully more authentic look at the products that I like, use, have tried, and have gotten in the mail, and hopefully will cure some hemorrhoids. So if you're interested in that, you might want to consider clicking that subscribe button. So like I said, I've had hemorrhoids. I'm 37 now. I first noticed them whenever I was 14 years old. I'm gonna tell you a little quick story. I went to Six Flags and I was riding roller coasters, and I noticed that, man, whenever I ride roller coasters and sit down, it's real bumpy and whatnot, I have this really hard pain, like a stabbing pain right near my anus. And I was like, man, what is going on? This is not cool. So I came home and I kind of was checking things out and whatnot, and I thought it was just like a boil or something like that. I have some notes right here that I took about everything, so I'm gonna tell you guys everything. And so I was like, okay, let me just try and squeeze this thing. And so I'd try and squeeze pressure on it, try to see if anything would come out, and it just hurt real bad. So that obviously didn't work, and so I went to the doctor. And the doctor, I've tried him twice. I've tried this twice, but he prescribed something called a rectal rocket. It's like a suppository that you put in, shove it like right at the tip of your anus, and then you sleep with it, and then hopefully the medicine works during the night so that the hemorrhoid goes away or it reduces or whatever. And so I tried that, and that didn't work the first time. Although I did notice that the hemorrhoids eventually just kind of subsided. I think it was because my body, I was just young at the time, and so my body was just able to kind of fight it off or whatever, keep that inflammation at bay. And so for a while I didn't have any issues with it. I do remember a point where it flared up again, probably 10 or so years later, and I tried the rectal rockets again. I didn't really notice anything there, and they kind of just came and went very, very sporadically, not enough to really try anything. But it wasn't until 2012. It was the night before we were about to have a huge garage sale because we were trying to get out of debt doing our total money makeover thing. And I think I was like bending down, like squatting down like this, because I was like pricing something or doing something with the garage sale stuff. And my wife looked at me and she noticed my butt. She said, you have a bunch of red on your pants. You were bleeding. And so I was like, oh, whoa, that's not good, obviously. So we went to the bathroom, and she took a look at it, and I had my head below my heart and my waist because I was bending over so she could see it. And whenever I did that, I ended up passing out. And I don't know if it was just because I saw the blood or because of loss of blood or whatever. It was like a pool of blood, I don't know, about that big on my pants. And it went through my underwear as well. So there was a good amount there, I guess. And so she called 911. I went to the hospital. As I was coming to whenever they were putting me on the stretcher and whatnot, except my hands got locked up. It was really weird. But eventually everything started flowing back again. I was at the hospital. I was kind of like, okay, this is unnecessary because I've passed out before. And so after that episode, I've had bleeding hemorrhoids every time that not every time, a lot of the time that I use the bathroom, in particular going number 2. Actually only going number 2. And that is because usually whenever you have hemorrhoids, and they're kind of external and internal, whenever you're pushing everything out, all your fecal matter, the hemorrhoid kind of comes down with it, just to, I guess, give it room to come out or whatever. And that was really painful because it was like stuck on the outside and it needed to go back up. And I was like, well, how do I get this thing back up? And so what I did for a while is I would just, after using the bathroom, making sure all the bleeding stopped, which was another whole issue because I would just sit there and wipe and blood would be on the toilet paper. And then for a while there, I just kind of held the toilet paper on my butt over the hemorrhoid and just kind of waited for it to clot up or to get very, very small, because I also noticed that if I wipe too much, I guess I open up the wound or open up whatever causes the bleeding, and that doesn't help that situation. And but once I did get the blood under control, I would go and lay on the bed, in particular with my, like, here's the bed, my feet, my legs would be hanging below, and I would be laying flat. And I don't know if it's the position or whatnot, but that caused the hemorrhoid to kind of go back up into the rectum, and then the bleeding would stop until the next time I had to use the bathroom. Let's see, let me go through this. A few other things that I've tried during this time, because at this point I was like, something needs to happen here. I actually went to a proctologist because after the hospital visit, the doctor told me to go to a proctologist to have it examined, and he told me that I could have a hemorrhoid rectomy. I forget what they're called. It's where they surgically go in and remove the hemorrhoids. I didn't know if I wanted to go that drastic because it just happened, but that was an option. Also, there was a cost factor there because it's like $3,000 to $4,000 or $5,000 to have that done. Another thing that I heard was that you can have rubber banding done. I actually know someone who had that done. That, from what I can tell, it's what I've read and what doctors have told me, it's about an 85% chance that it'll keep the hemorrhoid at bay. I went in and had I talked to a gastroenterologist, I don't know what they're called. And he was kind of just telling me about the procedure and how everything would go. I went and checked the insurance. It cost about like $400 per hemorrhoid. And so I was thinking about doing that, but I never actually went through with it. So those are two of the surgical things that you can do. There's also a few others using like lasers or cauterizing or something like that. And I really wanted to find a natural way to do it, because I believe that hemorrhoid is more of an inflammation thing. And if you can get your inflammation under control, then hopefully your body is physically adapted enough to be able to handle that. Like it's able to handle that, as opposed to just sitting there and causing constant pain. But that incorporates having a whole lifestyle change, a whole diet change and whatnot. And so after laying on the bed and doing all that for a long time, I decided that I've heard about like just pushing it right back up into the anus. And so for a while I did that with my finger. No, I didn't put anything on it, and I noticed, man, it's kind of rough going in. It's like kind of hard to get it back up in there. Again, I tried got the suppositories here, the Preparation H suppositories. These never really worked for me. All they did was just whenever I woke up in the morning, there was like this pile of mess in my underwear because the thing had melted in there. But eventually what I did is I got hemorrhoid cream. This is the Target brand, Up and Up hemorrhoid cream. By the way, if you guys want to check out any of the stuff that I'm mentioning here, I'll link it all up down in the description below. But this, I would put a little bit on the edge of my finger. I'd kind of roll it around the hemorrhoid, and then I'd try to take the hemorrhoid and actually push it back up. And this worked for a while, although I noticed with creams, in particular like this kind right here, where it's just like a very, very soft, if you will, that the hemorrhoid would just pop right back out, like after an hour or so of doing any type of activity. The hemorrhoid would pop back out until I have to go back to the bathroom and try and put it back up there again. So I got tired of doing that, and especially all the discomfort that came with that. I've tried things like just using hand soap to get it back up if like you're in a public bathroom or something like that. That's very painful because your anus is a mucous membrane, and so whenever the soap came in contact with that, it just burned like all heck. So then I decided, let's try some Neosporin to get it back up there. And so this is just an antibiotic cream, but it's the generic version of Neosporin. And so I was using this for a while. Oh wait, actually this is the cream. This is another cream one. I was also using a gel one. I just ran out of it. And the cream one actually, again, did just about as good as the hemorrhoid cream, where it just kept plopping back out. So if you do want to push it back up, you're gonna want to get like a gel cream, at least from my experience. And Neosporin seemed to work well, and any of the other generics of that. Then I ran out of Neosporin, and I found this in the bathroom, and I was like, okay, this looks like it's gonna be okay to put on a mucous membrane, and it's gel based, which is what I liked. And this is, you get a lot more for a decent price as well, better than paying however much the little tube like this is. So it's like I said, it's gel-based, so it's easier to keep the hemorrhoid up there once you already got it up there. But again, I got tired of having to get that thing back up there every time. And the reason why I started researching this again is because I recently read a book called The Bulletproof Diet. I mentioned this, actually I did a review of this previously. If you guys want to check that out, I'll link it up down in the description. But ever since I started this diet, it's more of a high-fat, low-carb diet. I'm noticing like a change down there whenever the hemorrhoids do come out. One, I'm not bleeding. Like I haven't bled in probably a month, maybe even longer than that. And the bleeding kind of comes and goes depending on my diet as well. Just kind of based on, I notice that based on what I eat, sometimes it bleeds a lot, sometimes it doesn't, kind of comes and goes. Also depending on how active I am and how much I'm sitting on my butt, you know, if I'm editing a video or whatever. But I did notice that activity level and diet does make a difference there. But ever since I started this high fat, low carb, kind of healthier way of eating, I've noticed that one, it's not bleeding, like I said, I haven't bled in a long time, and two, that it seems to be shrinking, and it's kind of shifted to the other hemorrhoid. Like the one on the right would always come out whenever I use number 2, but now the one on the left is coming out. I've got more than one hemorrhoid down there. So I found that was really, really interesting. And so the reason why I bring up the Bulletproof Diet is because whenever I was looking at my high cholesterol stuff, I was like, oh, let me see what this guy has to say, because he does biohacking and whatnot. Let me see what this guy has to say about cholesterol. And so I look it up, and I like this whole world of information opened up to me. So I was like, let me try putting Bulletproof Diet and hemorrhoids in there and see what happens. So I did that the other night. I was up on my phone, laying in bed, 11 o'clock at night, and I was like, OMG, I gotta order this stuff. So apparently, there's something in rosemary that's supposed to help with hemorrhoid pain, diasum or something, and it's a supplement. But there's a specific dosage that I found online that I think it's Dr. May, I think I got it from WebMD maybe, is recommending. And so I'm gonna open that up for you guys today so we can take a look at this. And I wanna share with you guys all the dosaging information that I found out. I wanna show you guys the particular brand that I got, because it fits in line with the dosage that was that I found online. Like you can take just one of these or two of these or three of these, however, and the numbers matched up, the math matched up. So open up the box here, and you actually have to take it with a different with 2 different types of things. So the first one that I got is the diosmin is the thing that's found in the rosemary. By the way, I'll link all this up down in the description below if you guys want to check it out. And it needs to be mixed with or taken with hesperidin. This one has 450 milligrams of the diosmin, and the hesperidin is 50 milligrams. You'll find out why that's important coming up here in just a second. I'm going to show you guys the dosage. Then it also mentioned this stuff, which from what I could understand, what I could tell online, I could only find it in like this Russian language. Oh wait, here it is. There, that's what it's called right there. Trexivsin. I don't know what it is. I don't really understand it that much, but I wanted to try it out because I've just been suffering from these hemorrhoids for so long, ever since I was 14, and really has been bothering me recently since 2012. And so the dosage for this, I actually took a screenshot of it whenever I found it. Does it say? Yeah, this is webmd.com. It says for hemorrhoids. For treating hemorrhoids, 1,350 milligrams of diazepam, which this is 450. 450 plus 450 is 900, plus another 450 would be 1,350. That's why I said that you need to get this particular bottle of it, because it's the exact dosage that you're going to need. Plus 150 milligrams of hesperidin. This is 50, so 50 times 3 is 150. So if you're taking 3 of these, you're getting that dosage. And you want to do that twice daily for 4 days. So you're going to take that amount for 4 days. Then followed by 900 milligrams of diazepam, which if you just take 2 of these, that's going to give you 900 milligrams, and 100 milligrams of hesperidin twice daily for 3 days has been used. Also, 300 milligrams of diosmin and 300 milligrams of textrabin, I don't know how to say that, and 300 milligrams of tesperidin 3 times daily for 3 days. So that's where it gets a little hairy, because I want you to take more of the hesperidin and less of the diosmin. But I couldn't find any correct dosage of those two. So I'm just gonna do a 1-for-1 type of thing. Just take one here, followed by 2 times daily for 2 days, and then once daily for 7 days has been used. Thereafter, 300 milligrams of diosmin, 300 milligrams of this stuff, I don't know how to say, and 100 milligrams of hesperidin has been used daily for 1 month. So I'm basically just gonna take one of these every day for 1 month. Some researchers also try 600 milligrams of diosmin 3 times daily for 4 days, followed by 300 milligrams daily for 10 days in combination with 11 grams of psyllium daily. However, this lower diosmin dose does not seem to be as effective. So what that tells me is that the top portion of that, where all the math is correct, should be good for me. And then as I just kind of wean myself from it. Another reason why I went with this is that if I did all the day math, like 3 a day, 2 a day, and the 180 capsules should get me through that entire time. So over the next month or 2 or 3, I'm gonna be doing this. Like I said, the diet has been taking care of some of it, although I'm still feeling a little bit of pain there. So I'm hoping that the diet mixed with these two things will kind of clear up everything and we won't have any more hemorrhoid pain. And I'm gonna kind of be the guinea pig for this, because I did tons of research online and on YouTube about how the heck do you get rid of hemorrhoids. None of them tells you any of this right here. It wasn't until I read this book that I figured this out. If you guys need all this dosage information, I'll type it up down in the description below. That way you guys can go and print it out and follow it if you need it, copy and paste it into Notepad for you. And then also I'll put a link to all these things. I got these on Amazon. They're just regular supplements. I'll put all those links down in the description below, along with all the other creams and ointments that I've used throughout the years, if you guys care to go that route. This will hopefully be the end of the hemorrhoids. And if you guys have tried any other hemorrhoid relief type of things at home, let me know down in the comments what they are. We can kind of come together as a community of dads, and probably some moms out there, especially ones who just gave birth, to figure out how to get rid of these hemorrhoids, because they are literally a pain in the... If you like what we're doing here on Dad Reviews, make sure to click that subscribe button. If I can find some other health-related videos, or whenever I give a follow-up for these two things, I'll put that video right there on the screen. You guys can go and click that video. I'll see y'all in those videos. Thank you, dads, for watching. That thumbs up is always appreciated. Share this video on Facebook if you know someone who's having hemorrhoid issues, and Dad out.